People used to treat me like I was nothing, just a street kid with big dreams and empty pockets. I remember the day I confronted Victoria Whitmore, the paralyzed millionaire. I approached her with an audacious proposal. I could heal her if only she'd share her leftover food with my grandmother. Her laughter echoed through the air, a mix of contempt and privilege, as she turned me away. Little did she know, desperation can spark resilience in the most unexpected ways. Victoria lived in a bubble of opulence. Her wealth accumulated while I scraped by in a neighborhood where hope was as scarce as opportunity. She had endured years of failed medical interventions, trapped in her own body, while my grandmother Ruth had clawed her way back from the brink of death. As Victoria slammed her door, her eyes betrayed a flicker of fear, a crack in her facade that I recognized. Despite her rejection, I was determined to understand her. What if her paralysis was rooted not just in her body, but in her heart? My grandmother's teachings lingered in my mind. Real healing comes from confronting truth, not running from it. As I dug deeper into Victoria's past, I unearthed shadows of trauma and deceit that demanded recognition. In a surprising twist of fate, our worlds collided, beckoning her to a reckoning. And so, amidst pain and privilege, I prepared to turn her laughter into tears, her disdain into understanding. What once felt like an audacious dream became a mission, a quest to illuminate the healing power hidden in our shared humanity, one leftover at a time. "Get away from my door, you little thief!" Victoria Whitmore's cold laugh echoed as she slammed the door, barely missing Daniel's hand. "Ms. Whitmore, please, I can help you," Daniel shouted through the closed door, his heart racing. "I know about your treatments. I know how much you struggle." "Struggling? Look at you." Her voice dripped with contempt. "What could a street kid possibly teach me? I've spent millions, darling. You think I'd trade my leftovers for your half-baked ideas?" Daniel's chest tightened with humiliation, but he held his ground. "It's not just ideas. My grandmother..." "Confiscated? Question grandmother," Victoria scoffed, cutting him off. "What does a woman like that know about real life? You think I'm going to barter my meals for someone's wild fantasies? You should be ashamed." Forging a dim of the door felt like a slap. Daniel stood frozen, anger bubbling underneath his skin. How could someone so rich be so blind? He clenched his fists, remembering Ruth's lessons. "It's okay, Danny," she'd say. "People can be afraid of what they don't understand." He turned away, a lump in his throat. A cocktail of anger and determination surged within him. "I'll show her," he whispered to himself, looking back at the grand house looming behind him. "I'll show her what real strength is." Irritability, he realized something. Victoria's dismissive laughter couldn't drown out the wisdom he carried within him, and he would make her see that life isn't measured by wealth, but by empathy and truth, even if it meant bringing down her impeccably crafted facade. Daniel stood at the edge of the sprawling estate, the air thick with the scent of privilege. He had always been told he was worth less, that his dreams were fanciful, mere whispers drowned by the roar of wealth that surrounded Victoria Whitmore. Her laughter echoed in his mind, a dismissive melody that played over and over. "You think you can heal me for leftovers?" she had scoffed, her eyes dancing with disbelief. But Daniel felt something deeper, a gnawing fire ignited within him. He was tired of hiding in shadows cast by people like her. He connected the dots of Victoria's pain, her lifelong battle with other demons buried just beyond her pristine veneer. She was a captive of her own life, just like him. Days passed, frustrations simmering into determination. He started speaking to his grandmother, absorbing her wisdom, her stories of struggle, strength, and survival. "Sometimes the heart is paralyzed more than the body," she told him one night, the twilight deepening around them. Then he stumbled on an article about a tragic incident involving Victoria's husband. The pieces clicked. The fear, the trauma, the deceit. Daniel could almost taste the shame that simmered beneath her skin. Today he would confront her again, not with anger, but with understanding, forcing her to face the truth she buried under layers of arrogance and denial. As he approached the front door, his heart raced. It was time to show Victoria that healing came from truth, not just touch, that scars run deeper than any physical affliction. The moment was charged, and the shift palpable. Daniel wasn't just seeking leftovers anymore. He was demanding justice for both their souls. Daniel stood outside Victoria's grand mansion, fists clenched at his sides. The laughter echoed in his mind, a harsh reminder of the contempt he'd faced. He adjusted the beanie on his head, feeling the weight of generations behind him. "You think I'm just a kid?" he muttered, barely above a whisper but with a newfound edge. "Ruth!" he called out as he rushed home, determination igniting each step. "We're going to find out how to help her. She needs to see what she's hiding from." His grandmother looked up, her wise eyes glinting with pride. "You've got fire, Daniel. Let's uncover that truth." Hours later, poring over old newspapers, Daniel stumbled upon Victoria's story, her marriage, her husband's mysterious death. Something twisted in his gut. This was more than mere paralysis. "It's all tied together," he said quietly, lacing his fingers together. "She can't let go of the past." Ruthin leaned in, her voice steady. "Then we show her, give her no choice but to embrace change." Confidence swelled within him as they crafted a plan. The reversal wouldn't just be about healing her body, but breaking through the walls she'd built so high. As he left for the confrontation, Daniel whispered to himself, "This is bigger than healing. It's about truth, her truth." When he knocked on Victoria's door again, his heart raced, not with fear, but purpose. "Victoria, let me in. It's time we talk," he declared, his voice strong, carrying the legacy of his ancestors. A glimmer of hesitation crossed her face, but she opened the door. The battle had only just begun. Daniel stood in front of the gathered crowd in the town square, trembling but resolute, as he prepared to unveil the truth about Victoria Whitmore. A truth that would finally confront the facade she had so meticulously constructed. The air was thick with anticipation. Whispers of their confrontation had spread like wildfire. Victoria, dressed in a tailored suit, exuded her usual confidence as she sauntered into view, clutching the microphone, her face etched with disbelief. With a poised demeanor, Daniel began, eyes glistening with determination. "You all know the story of the incredible millionaire who overcame her paralysis," he called out, his voice steady despite the chaos swirling within him. "But did you know that her greatest victory was one built upon lies?" The crowd fell silent, visiting waves of confusion. Victoria's smile faltered, the facade cracking ever so slightly. Daniel produced his phone, and the video began to play, revealing moments where Victoria had stood upright, her laughter echoing through the clip. Gasps erupted from the audience. "This is not just about walking. It's about the truth you've hidden, Victoria," he declared, his voice stronger now. "You've deceived us all." Victoria's face turned pale, the confidence fading rapidly from her posture. She swiped at the phone, her composure unraveling. "This isn't real. It's a trick," she shrieked, but the evidence was irrefutable. Her hands shook as the reality of her manipulations, her fear, and her trauma surged like a flood tide, overwhelming her realm of authority. As the police arrived, Daniel remained steady, a quiet triumph blooming within him. He wasn't there for revenge, merely justice. Victoria's indignation morphed into despair, her eyes brimming with tears as the arresting officers approached. The crowd, once silent, erupted in hushed murmurs of solidarity with Daniel, reverberating with unspoken applause. Victory wasn't about Daniel's ascendance, it was about exposing the truth, revealing how the arrogant could be unmasked by the wisdom of a young boy. The moment crystallized into an indelible memory, not marked by vindictiveness, but by a profound sense of healing as Victoria Whitmore was forced to confront the very depths of her betrayal. As I reflect on the journey from a curious boy to a catalyst for change, I realize that the most profound lessons came from unexpected encounters. My bold attempt to heal Victoria was rooted not just in desperation, but in a desire to bridge the chasm between our worlds. I faced rejection, laughter, and scorn from someone who had everything, but through it all, I found strength within myself and the support of my grandmother. It wasn't merely about the ability to walk again. It became a journey of confronting past traumas and challenging the arrogance that can come from privilege. In bringing light to her truths, I unearthed my own, discovering that healing often means facing uncomfortable realities, not just physical ailments. Do you think I went too far? What would you have done in my place? Have you ever had someone treat you like that? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's explore the complex boundaries of power, justice, and the potential for healing in our interconnected lives.